Miss Marvel is a fairly new character created in 2014 by writer G. Willow Wilson and stars Kamala Khan, a Muslim teenager growing up in Jersey City who, after receiving powers, takes up the mantle of Miss Marvel after her hero Captain Marvel, who also went by that name years before. But before we get into this review, let's firstly address the elephant in the room, because yes, the Miss Marvel series does change a few things about the character. To be more specific, the way she gains her powers and just the way her powers work in general. Before seeing the series, I personally didn't have an issue with this so long as it was all handled well, and I'm glad to say that this series really captures the essence of the character, power change or not. So the Miss Marvel series stars Iman Vellani as the main character, Miss Marvel, and similar to the No Normal comic, sees her trying to find her way in the world, balancing being a teen with becoming a superhero. She's a big Captain Marvel fan and loves all things Avengers, and the first episode sees her wanting to attend an AvengerCon with her friend Bruno. However, her parents aren't so happy with this idea, and so it leads to her sneaking out to go anyway, and this is where things start to pick up as her powers start to manifest due to a bracelet that was sent to her by her grandmother. Now this is where things start to change with Kamala's origin and powers. In the comics, she's able to stretch her limbs, make herself bigger or smaller, and also can change her appearance, as she's actually an Inhuman, but we won't go into all of that. That's not really what's important here. In the show, the bracelet unlocks something within her, and so she's able to make light constructs to make physical energy blasts, shields, platforms, but she can also use it to stretch out much like she does in the comics. What I appreciated about this change, however, and why I think it works throughout the series, is as Kamala finds out more about who she is, you find that there is more of a personal connection and a cultural significance to her powers now. It just makes everything feel like there's a bit more meaning to everything. Even the way her costume eventually gets designed, it's using her name as a symbol, using materials given to her from different characters, it all just feels very organic. The representation of a Pakistani family, of Muslim culture, to the places visited, the vibrancy, the music throughout the series, everything feels so genuine, so respectful. The dynamics of the family and the community, it shows that it's all been put together with so much love and care, and of course, including respect for the source material. Throughout the show, but more towards the first few episodes, you had very interesting uses of the environment and animation to help with storytelling, whether that was Kamala breaking down one of her plans or for something, or to show text messages being sent. It's all just very playful, but a very unique mechanic for the show. And that's one of the highlights for me with this series. It's beautifully directed, it's heartwarming, and it's fun. If there was anything I would say I didn't particularly like about the show, it would have to have been the villain, who to me wasn't really much of a villain. They just seemed to serve the purpose of getting Kamala from A to B. It was probably the weakest part of the show, and maybe if the story was more contained to Kamala being hunted by Damage Control, for example, then it would have served for a better, more tighter story. Also, these Disney Plus shows need to have longer episodes, at the minimum an hour in length, and that's not including the credits. Sometimes it just feels like they're rushing through and things can feel slightly disjointed, or that we don't get enough time spent with certain characters. Going on from this, and it's not the biggest issue, but it was something that made me go, this doesn't seem quite right. And it's that Kamala's parents kind of do a 180 in their attitude towards their daughter. Now, they're loving parents, but you can tell that they're overprotective of their daughter, as most parents would be, and when Kamala asks to go to AvengerCon, they flat out say no at first. Fast forward to later in the series, and they're perfectly fine with their daughter running about using her powers. Obviously, there's a small talk about being safe, but this is what I mean when I say more time with Kamala and her family, coming to terms with her powers would have just made more sense. Speaking of the supporting cast, I don't think there was anyone in this show that I didn't like. Everyone, for the most part, not you, had a likable character and acted their parts well. Okay, you did too. Kamala's brother brought a lot of funny moments to the show, but Laith Nekli, who played Sheikh Abdullah, was probably one of my favourite characters, and he played the part so well and had some really good lines in there. Now, Miss Marvel is definitely a show aimed at a younger audience. It's a lot of fun, but also has some very touching moments. It's a beautiful show, and again, you can see that so much love and care has gone into making this one, and there is finally a live-action Muslim Marvel superhero to inspire the next generation. Iman Vellani was born to play this role. Her youthful energy has brought something fun and fresh to the MCU. She'll no doubt be an icon to lots of younger fans out there and has a bright future in the MCU. The complete series of Ms. Marvel is now available on Disney+. I definitely recommend watching it. There are some truly mind-blowing moments that you don't want to miss, so make sure you check it out. Have you seen Ms. Marvel yet? And what did you think about it? Sound off in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll catch you next time.